Keep going, Todd. Todd's giving us a play-by-play here on this Ravens-Rams game. What'd you just see, Todd?
I was getting hyped, man. They just got to Lamar, didn't let them get the first down. I want the Rams to win this game, so I'm hyped.
You excited? All right, guys. Week 14, Denver Broncos. They're looking to bounce back after a tough loss, obviously, to the Houston Texans last week. They need a much-needed win here over a AFC West rival, the LA Chargers, to keep their postseason hopes alive. Happy game day, everyone. So glad that you guys are here with us. Alexis Perry here alongside Super Bowl 50 champ Todd Davis, like you guys just heard his play-by-play. I think you have a future in that.
I would do it. I heard his hard work, and it's a lot of prep that goes into it, but I would do it.
I think you might be color commentary with like the noises you were making. That was adding a lot of color to it. Yeah.
Like literally, he kind of gave me some Reno 911, like new boot goozin'. Like that's kind of what he was giving me. Also, so happy to have, I think for the first time this season.
You know, it took 13 weeks to get the invite to be on the pregame show, and I'm honored to be here.
Zac Stevens, passenger princess today. How does it feel
Oh
after
man,
driving?
so just cruising right through. I love it.
All week long. Before we delve too deep into this one right now, first things first, we got to get this out of the way. Everybody get your phones out. Open up the Bet365 app. Of course. We got to get you guys the Broncos boost today, the Bet Boost. We have boosted Broncos to win, obviously, and Courtland Sutton to score a touchdown. A Sutty-tutty today. Are you feeling it, Todd?
I think that's easy money. I mean, I know odds are never 100%, but I feel pretty confident in that boosted bet right there. Courtland's been playing well. The Broncos, I don't think the back end of this Chargers team can even handle what we're about to throw at them. So Broncos get a win, Courtland get a touchdown. I'm all for it.
If the Broncos are winning, Courtland's getting a touchdown. Yeah. So you're pretty much getting a boost of just the Broncos to win.
I like that. Well, speaking of must wins, including that boost, this is a must-win game for the Denver Broncos here today, given just how tight this playoff race is in the AFC. First things first, off the top here, Zach, fill us in on some of the teams that we're rooting for here today. How are things unfolding thus far?
There's some wild stuff going on in the NFL, and a lot of things that are impacting the Broncos right now. The Colts and Bengals, two teams that we want both to lose, but one of them's got to win. You probably, I guess, want the Bengals to win. And right now they're up 31-14, so that's great news for the Broncos. You have the Jags losing to the Browns. That's one where you probably want the Jags to win to just knock the Browns down a little bit, but maybe in the end that one helps. The Jets are destroying the Texans. With Zach Wilson playing out of his mind. He's playing like he has 120 passer rating right now. They're up 24-6 over the Texans, which is good. And bad news, though, for the Texans. Looks like C.J. Stroud just got hurt.
I think it was a shoulder injury on the sack, man.
Yikes.
It's not looking like a good day for them.
Yeah, that's...
So Tank Dell out for the year. Now C.J. Stroud looks hurt.
Yeah, and they're going to lose. The Texans are losing to the Jets. That is embarrassing. And then that's all that impacts the Broncos directly. But there's one other game that really is jumping out. The Bears are beating the Lions 28-13. Now, that obviously doesn't impact the Broncos' playoff chances.
Right.
But the Broncos play the Lions in 6 days. And the Lions are losing to the Bears.
Good to see anything is possible.
Yeah, exactly.
Broncos are going to win out.
Oh, 5-0?
I think the Broncos go 5-0, especially if the Lions lose to the Bears. They're going to be licking their wounds next week. It could give them kind of that extra jolt of, energy, I guess, next week going up against the Broncos. But I don't know. I think it's possible. Broncos can beat the Lions.
Never know. Anything is possible.
You don't have it next week. I already know who you're picking next week, which is ironic in itself. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at this game here today. Broncos currently sitting in 9th in the AFC. Chargers, obviously, in 12th. Both teams still very much in it. I don't want to say very much, though, for the Chargers. It doesn't feel like they're very much in anything.
Yeah, the Broncos can take them completely out
Yeah.
by beating them today. But I guess technically, if we say the Broncos get in at 10-7, you probably say the Chargers get in at
Right.
10-7, and the Chargers have to win out in order to be 10-7. So I guess they're still in it.
While we'd love to see a little help from some other teams, it would be better, I think, if the Broncos can just control their own destiny, like I
Yes.
mentioned, win out. What are your thoughts on this game just as a whole heading into it?
I think I felt pretty confident about this game. You know, throughout the course of our winning streak and throughout the season, there weren't many games I felt pretty confident about. I kind of I'm still hesitant now, even now to say it, but I do feel confident about this game versus the Chargers. I feel like we're a better team. I think we find ways to win towards the end of the game, and they find ways to lose towards the end of the game. I think just overall for us, the things that we do well on defense match up with their offense very well. So I'm excited for the matchup, and I think it's going to be a win for the Broncos. I do.
Man, when you look at this Chargers team, let's see if I can get this right. Their parts are much better than the sum
Yeah.
Yes.
of their team, because they do have superstars on their team. Keenan Allen, a great receiver. Khalil Mack obviously leads the league in sacks right
Yeah.
now. He is unstoppable. Specifically, recently, Derwin James is potential like all-pro safety, and then that's it.
Yep.
Then like the rest of their team is completely depleted. So you just have to make sure that on defense or on offense that Khalil Mack doesn't destroy you, because
Yep.
he can destroy a team. He's done it 4 of the past 5 games where he's had 2 sacks. So you use 2 or 3 guys on him every single play to make sure he doesn't destroy you. Then you'll be able to win on the offensive side. And then the other side for the Broncos defense, don't let Keenan Allen beat you,
Yep.
and you got
Yeah.
Pat Surtain. So it should be that easy. Just don't let those 2 guys beat you. If anyone else comes out and beats you, because no Joey Bosa as well, he's on the IR, likely done for the year. If anyone else beats you, okay,
We'll live
well,
with
I
it.
guess congratulations.
Yeah. I think the key this week, obviously, is just not digging a hole too deep that you just can't get out of here for the Denver Broncos. And Sean Payton said it last week. It was just really a sloppy game all around. So how do you see this team cleaning things up this week in LA?
You know, I think they want to start fast. They want to start with their game plan, run the ball well, ding and dunk down the field, and really be able to put themselves in manageable third downs, be able to extend drives. Like you said last week, they got caught behind a little bit, ended up taking more shots down the field than they wanted to, and I feel like that's what kind of kept the game out of reach for the most
Yep.
part. So they want to just start with their game plan. The first 15 is going to be pretty good. I got some notes about their game plan, but I think overall they just want to play their game from the beginning.
That was a little tease for Area 51.
It's a
here in
little one,
bit.
slight
Okay.
tease, slight tease.
And speaking of sticking to their game plan, Sean's doing something a little different with his game plan. You know what Sean Payton's halftime routine has been through the first 12 weeks of the season?
Tell us.
He goes in, talks to the team for like 2 minutes, has a banana, takes a pee, in his words. He used that.
Okay.
Now he's adding a little spice to this. He's going to build a second half script, 5 or 6 plays, but
Okay.
he's not doing that until halftime. I don't know if that, Todd, do you know if that's normal to not build the second half script until halftime? I would just kind of assume that they would build it before the game.
Well, usually they build it like during the game. Like
Okay.
if you see a lot of coaches, they'll have like a pen in their right hand, and like as they're calling their plays, they like put asterisks by the plays they're going to put into the script to start the second half. But usually they do it like as the game grows and see what plays work well throughout the game.
That makes sense. And what I want his second half game plan to be, the script coming out of halftime, run.
Yep.
Because they did the opposite in the second half and the first half. Last week, pass in the first half to start the game, then pass to start the second half. And like you said, Todd, that's not their game plan.
Yep.
So stick to what you do well. And the Chargers, while their pass defense is the second worst in the NFL, over the past 4 weeks, their run defense has been even worse
Yep.
than that. They've given up like over 150 yards per game in 4 straight games. That's terrible. So run the ball. And the good news is they have Samaje Perine today.
So you said his ritual was peeing and eating a banana?
Yep,
That
that
makes
was
me
it.
feel like he was just winging it. Like I'm gonna pee. I'm gonna go back out there. I'm gonna call some stuff. We'll see how it works.
So
He's like, I guess I got to dial in now.
I guess this is a question. Like, are second half scripts common?
I think they're important, especially for a lot of the times, especially for this Denver Broncos team. They weren't doing a good job starting in the second
Right.
half. Like our second half at times was horrible because we didn't have anything scripted.
Yeah.
Like the first 15 was great. Guys were going out there playing well. They knew their assignments. They were executing at a high level.
Yeah.
But as soon as we came up for the second half, like most of our second half start with a 3 and out.
Yep.
So for us to now have a script, I think we've needed one for a couple games now. So it's important that we have one now.
Yeah, update us a little bit on Samaje Perine. I know Tyler Beatty, he was called up yesterday, but it looks like we won't be having to use him today.
Exactly, yeah. He's inactive because of the good news that Samaje is going to play. Last time we talked to you guys, Samaje Perine was healthy and good.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Friday, he pops up on the injury report, didn't practice on Friday with a knee injury. So something happened Thursday practice, Thursday after practice. I don't know if it was in practice or after, but something happened where he pops up. I saw him in the locker room on Friday. He was walking around just fine. So it's good news that he is healthy today because they've been, as the weeks have gone on, the Broncos have been relying on him more and more and more, specifically Russell Wilson. That's like his tight end safety net now. Even though he's not a tight end, that's the guy in the middle of the field that he looks to when he needs to get bailed out. So I don't know who that would have been. I guess just a bigger role for Javonte.
Yeah, probably.
So it's good you don't have to worry about that now.
Something I think that this team needs to figure out this week, because they didn't figure it out at all last week, is third down. Obviously 0 for 11 on third down last week. And this week they're facing one of the best third down defenses in the league. So how can this team put themselves in better situations to be able to convert there on third down instead of having to really, like you said, wing it there on fourth down?
Yeah, I think they got to stick to their game plan early on, like first and second down. We want to be in manageable third downs, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. I think that's where we make our money. 3rd and 10, we don't really pick those up. I feel like, Russ kind of gets antsy, starts scrambling back there. We don't really pick up too many 3rd and long. So if we can stay ahead of the sticks, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, I think it really puts us in a good position to pick those up. Because 0 for 11, I mean, you don't win many games like that.
Third down, thoughts?
It's exactly what Todd said. And when you look, Sean Payton, specifically the first 3 plays of the first half last week, first 3 plays of the second half last week, when you start by throwing the ball, especially when you try to take shots, I like that aggressive mindset, but that's just not who this team is. But when you do that, then Sean gets a little pressed and says, well, let's throw it on second down. And then you have 3rd and long, and then everyone knows what's coming. And this team specifically, this right side of the offensive line isn't built to stand up to a pass rush, especially when the pass rush can pin their ears back and go. Like Will Anderson, he's supposed to be the next Von Miller. He was the 3rd overall pick. Von Miller was the number 2 overall pick. That's how good he is. So it's not a surprise that he did so well. But then on the other side, I don't even know who the Texans pass rusher is. I can't even remember his name on the other side because he was able to just pin his ears back. So I totally agree. It's going to be about staying on schedule, and a 3-yard run on first down isn't bad because then you can do that exact same thing again, and then it's 3rd and 4. Then that can lead to a Russ scramble. That can lead to a Russ throw, play action, or you can just run the ball again on 3rd down.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's get into tug of war where we decide who has the edge in certain situations throughout the game. I don't think I'm going to go in this order.
Ooh.
I might not go in this order. And we got Texans up there. So
you're winging it right now.
I'm gonna, let's start when the Chargers pass the ball. It's very clear that really Justin Herbert's number 1 receiver, number 1 target it goes Keenan Allen, and then it goes Austin Eckler. It's pretty much how this goes for Justin Herbert. So quickly, take us back to game planning for Keenan Allen. What do you remember about that?
I was blessed to have a really good secondary, so I didn't really have to do much of that. I let them handle that. But I think they did a pretty good job on him every game. I don't really remember any games where Keenan Allen really took over against us. I know he has the ability to. Very talented wide receiver, but usually in Denver or against Denver, we hold him. My biggest threat right now is Austin Eckler, but his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. I think we have 2 good linebackers, and they're good in coverage, but, he's that kind of X factor, and I'm interested on how they're going to use him, being able to get him out of the backfield, screens, even have him lined up outside running go routes. So I think he's, maybe the player to watch today because I don't think Keenan Allen's going to do much.
And Todd, you said something interesting on how linebackers, when you have a dominant running back in the pass game coming out of the backfield, how you line up. It's like a 2-on-1 or something you said?
Yeah, so you play like man-to-man. That's the best way to, attack a dominant wide receiver in Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler. So you have outside leverage on him, and you have inside help with the other linebacker, basically a 2-on-1. But if he goes vertical, I mean, you guys both got to try to rally to get that. But at least for all the shaking base and in and out, you're right there having bracketed.
Zach, I know for you, PS2 on Keenan Allen all day. You don't want to see anything else.
No, easy. Just don't complicate things. I understand that he might not be able to be on him 100% of the time, but he should be on him as much as humanly possible. Don't make this complicated, Vance. Make it easy on yourself. Pat Surtain on Keenan Allen. And then Pat's going to do a great job like he does against Devontae Adams. You can allow Keenan Allen to have 7 catches.
Yeah.
Just keep it to 70 yards,
Yeah.
not 150 yards. Now, this past week, the Patriots did a great job of holding Keenan Allen to like 5 catches for 60 yards.
Yep.
I'll
Yeah.
sign up for that in a heartbeat. But the 3 previous weeks, Keenan Allen averaged like 12 catches for 140 yards and a touchdown. That is a formula for the Chargers to beat the Broncos. But with Pat, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. I just want like one of our receivers to have that kind of game where he's targeted 15 times.
Oh,
Can Courtland
that
or
be
Jerry just
nice?
get one game so they can experience it? Because I know that they will go crazy with it, but maybe next year. Who knows?
Marvin Mims is the only receiver that has a 100-yard receiving game for the Broncos this year, and he has 1. Jerry,
Really?
Courtland, no 100-yard receiving games. It's wild. This
Which
is
makes-
2023.
Which makes
crazy.
no sense because I feel like we preach week in and week out, like, oh, we need to see more Marvin Mims.
Yeah.
But somehow he's the only one that has a 100-yard receiving
it's so
game.
true. And especially with how good Courtland Sutton's been when he gets the ball in his hands and when he's
Yep.
given that opportunity, it's just wild that they don't come out with a game where they're like, let's just throw the ball 15 times to Sutton.
Yeah.
They don't do it.
For sure. Okay, so when the Chargers pass the ball, who has the edge?
Our secondary.
Our secondary. So
I'm
the
about to say our
Broncos
wide
have the edge.
receivers,
Okay.
but yes, our secondary has the edge, hands down. We have a great back end. As far as our corners, our safeties, I think we're gonna do a great job against them when they pass the ball.
100%. The
Okay.
Broncos because of Pat.
Okay. Yeah. So we have it says Texans on the actual text. We were just getting some people pointing that out. But all 3 of us are saying that when the Chargers pass the ball, the Broncos have the edge on that one.
Yep.
Okay. When the Chargers run the ball, like we talked about, Brandon Staley this week said that there's probably going to be a competition for carries this week. So we might see a little bit more Joshua Kelly.
Yeah.
Today, possibly. I think even though the Broncos have struggled defending the run this this season, the Chargers have struggled running it far more than we've struggled defending it.
100%. I agree with you. This might be the only time the rest of the season I picked the Broncos' run defense
Yep.
against a team's rushing attack. But the Chargers don't like running the ball. They might be benching or taking the starting role away from Austin Eckler. So give me the Broncos in this one.
Yeah, me as well. I think Austin Eckler had averaged 1.3 yards per carry last week, and then Joshua Kelly averaged 2.7. So put whoever you want in the game. I don't think it's really going to matter. I think the Broncos defense is going to come up ready to play. And I think those guys are haunted by Miami and some other games they didn't do well in the rushing attack.
Yep.
So they're slowly clawing their way back to being much of a better run defense. And I think this game is going to help them in their ability to climb back into the standings for their run defense.
Yeah, Austin Eckler averaging career low with 5.5 yards per carry and 4.7 yards per touch this year. He's had 5 scrimmage touchdowns in 9 games. Last year, in 2021, 2022, he led the NFL with 38 scrimmage touchdowns. He's had 5 this year. That is
Wow.
such a drop off, and it comes at such an inopportune time for him because his contract's up at the end of the year.
Yeah, that, and he tried to get a big contract from them, held out.
Yeah.
Man, the running back market does stink.
It does. Okay, let's move on to when the Broncos pass the ball. Obviously, Chargers pass rush,
Yeah.
very, very strong, and with Khalil Mack. But what do you guys expect from Russell Wilson this week? Could he
Yeah.
bounce back?
Yeah, I am not scared of this Chargers secondary at all.
Yep.
But also, I wasn't really scared of the Texans secondary. Derek Stingley, obviously a really good player,
Yep.
and he was able to come up with some big plays. But what scares me and why I give the edge to the Chargers here is because of the pass rush that they have. Khalil
Right.
Mack leads the league in sacks, on pace to almost break the single-season record, which is crazy because no one's talking about him.
Yeah.
And he's Khalil Mack, like a former number 5 overall pick. And then just their team, too, also the 3rd most sacks in the NFL. So because of that, because of how much the Broncos offensive line struggled last week, I'm unfortunately going to go Chargers here.
Well, this is tough. Well, you go, and that'll be the tiebreaker.
I feel like I'm going to give this to the Broncos.
Boom.
I feel like as much as Khalil Mack will be a problem, I don't think this offensive line is going to have 2 weeks back-to-back where they struggle. I think this is going to look very much like the Browns game. They were able to completely keep Myles Garrett out of that game,
Love
and I
it.
think they will be able to do the same today. So I'm actually going to give the Broncos. Russell Wilson, I think he's going to have a nice, clean game, no mistakes, no turnovers. And I think he's going to go back to what he was doing during that 5-game win streak. He's going to dink and dunk and hand the ball off. And I think the Broncos win this game by controlling the clock.
Yeah, I agree. I think that we may do better against quote-unquote dominant pass rushers. I think when the guy's well-known and we're going into a game, we actually held them to less. I think the guys without a name who are still trying to make a name for himself kind of surprise us and then get after us. So luckily we know who Khalil Mack is. We know what he can do. And this back end is just leaving so many people wide open. I think we're going to be able to take advantage of some plays. So I think we'll be good.
So he's not having a Michael Schofield 5-sack day?
No. Shout out to Sco, man. That was a tough day. We've all had them. I've definitely had a tough one myself, but hopefully not 5 sacks. That's crazy.
So you're going to give the edge to the Broncos then?
Yes, I'm giving the edge to the
That's who we're
Broncos.
giving it to. I love it. Okay.
I'll be the bad guy.
You
wow.
are the bad guy.
Jeez. I come on
Usually
here
it's
negative
Hank.
Nancy. Yeah.
Usually it's Hank who's standing off camera over here. Good to see you, Hank. We're going to pretend like your video that you sent in was live.
Yeah.
But he's actually standing right here. We'll get to that here in just a little bit. When the Broncos run the ball, like I just said, I feel like it was key for the Broncos when they were winning. They were running the ball on average over 30 times per game. And I love those games when we're a little bit closer to 40. And Samaje Perine and Javonte Williams look absolutely just dead by the end of the game. But
See, it's the color
we
commentary coming
literally
out.
have Todd Davis just reacting to Red Zone right now. What'd you just see?
It's tough, man. Like, I love the podcast, but they have this TV right here that you can't help but watch it sometimes. And there was a tip ball by Matt Stafford. I didn't want to get picked up by the Ravens, so I had to take a deep breath, but we're all good.
All good. Okay, up against this Chargers run D, who do you like, Zach?
I like the Broncos running attack here. This is their strength. And what I love about it is when you look at the numbers, the Broncos don't have a dominant yards per carry team.
Right.
But Sean sticks with it for the most part. And like you said, Alexis, the Broncos don't want balance. The Broncos want to be so run dominant that at the end of the game, it's 20 passes to 40 rushing attempts. And I just love how Sean sticks with it because a team that averages 3.9 yards per carry on a game in, game out basis, you would think that they're just going to abandon the run. If the Broncos did that, it'd be really bad. But so the Chargers are an average team against the run. But like I said, these past 4 games have really, really been bad. So give me the Broncos.
Yeah, I'm taking the Broncos as well. A lot of our stats don't jump off on paper, but if you ever watch a game, we do exactly what needs to be done in the down. If it's 3rd and 2, we're going to get 3. If it's 2nd and 5, we're going to get 6. We just find a way to do what exactly needs to be done. And that's all I need from these Broncos, man. Just do what it needs to be done to keep us ahead of the sticks, keep moving the ball down the field, and we'll be all right.
Okay, special teams. I feel like this one's pretty obvious.
Yeah, the Broncos. The Broncos are in the top 10, if not top 5, in every single category of special teams outside of punting when they're in the bottom 10.
Yep.
The Broncos special teams, remarkable turnaround. Give me Marvin Mims.
I'm rocking with you. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, coaching. This is fun. A former Broncos coach versus Sean Payton. You know Brandon Staley pretty well.
I know Brandon Staley really well. I think he's a great guy. I think he's having a tough time right now. So he's just trying to figure out how to make this team better. I don't think he doesn't have the recipe right now. It sucks for him. It's good for us today, but Sean Payton, he's definitely turned this team around. He's figured out our recipe to winning, our recipe to success. I think he has all the guys in the locker room balled in, and for that reason, got to give it to Sean.
Yeah, and Brandon Staley, good guy, like you said, Todd. I don't have this personal relationship with him, so I can say this. If the Broncos win today, especially if it's in embarrassing fashion, Brandon Staley could be fired because they have Kellen Moore, who might be a head coaching candidate at some point. They might want to see if he can be their head coach for the final 4 games of the season. So not only do the Broncos have the advantage here, 2 coaches that are going in completely different directions, and the Broncos could actually get Brandon Staley fired today.
Could Brandon Staley have saved his job if he would have just passed off defensive calling duties? Defensive play calling duties?
And he made clear that's not going to happen.
Oh, like loud
Very
and
clear.
clear.
But
Yeah.
I wouldn't either, though.
You're going down?
Yeah, because the fate of my job, at least it's in my hands.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay.
If I give it away, I'm already on the chopping block as it is. If I can turn it around, then I get brownie points for that. But if I give it away and he turns it around, then I'm really going.
Okay, fair enough.
But Todd, what if your hands are just full of like oil and you just can't hold on to anything? It's in your hands, but you can't hold on to it.
I gotta go down with the ship.
Yeah, it's fair.
As long as I'm driving the ship, if we going down, all right. At least I was
Very
driving.
Titanic of you.
Screw
I
y'all.
love
You
that.
all coming with me.
Yeah.
You know what though? I know guys in the NFL, especially head coaches, they don't do this for the money. But if you can put your ego to the side, being a fired NFL head coach is one of the best gigs in the world because you get a fat paycheck.
You do get
and then
paid.
if you want to work, you're gonna get a coordinating job for the rest of your life or a position coach. Or if you don't want to work, you're set.
Yeah.
You got tens of millions of dollars
Yeah,
in
like
the
Vic
bank.
Fangio took the year off.
Yeah.
He was semi-retired for
Yeah.
a little bit. Then he got the job in Miami. Now
good
he's living the
life.
life.
Good
Yeah,
life.
I
yeah.
know.
Todd's
I love
guy,
it.
Vic Fangio.
Yeah,
Yep.
his favorite. His favorite. Let's go ahead and check in with Jimmy Palm Trees in the land of no palm trees this week. He's out in Kansas City for that Chiefs-Bills game. That's going to be a good one. I think he might have a special guest that joined him today as well. Let's check in.
What's up, guys? On the sideline here at Arrowhead, Bills-Chiefs is my game. I know you got a monster AFC matchup as well with the Chargers and Broncos. Wait, I got a special Jeff? Oh, hey! There he is, Jeff Darlington. People, listen, we get along. NFL Network, ESPN.
Some people think we're the same person.
Wow. Some of them coaching the NFL. Listen, I talked to Derwin James on my show this week, Jeff, and Mondays and Thursdays, 7:15 on streaming platforms like Roku, Pluto, Tubi. We talked about how their issues with giving up explosive plays is something they just have to stop and stop it this week. Now, can Russell Wilson go deep? I don't know. Talking to people around the league this week, it's kind of been, that's the one thing the Chargers are bad at. That's the one thing that the Broncos kind of refuse to do in some senses. But Courtland Sutton's ability to go up and get the football, something they need to utilize. What's an aspect of this offense you think, Jeff?
I was just actually in Denver when they played the Browns, and the narrative that existed then is the same one that exists now. If they can avoid turnovers, something they didn't do in the loss to Houston, they can be successful. And I think that that's sort of the recipe, efficiency on both sides of the ball. And I know it sounds simplistic, but that's what Sean Payton has loved about the turnaround of this team in the late going. Look, if Russ throws picks, though, it's going to wear on Sean Payton to all hell. Like, that is the kryptonite for Russ. He's got to get back to being efficient. If he can do that, then I think that they can get back on track and maybe make this playoff push.
And you don't turn the football over if you're not predictable. Being in that Texans locker room last Sunday, we knew everything Sean Payton was doing. We knew everything they were doing offensively. Can't be predictable as on offense. We'll see if they can do it. Take it easy, guys.
Thanks so much, Jimmy Palm Trees. Okay, James just mentioned that the Texans post-game last week said, we knew everything that Broncos offense was going to run. How can this offense be less predictable here today?
You know, we got to start. I think it starts with Russell Wilson and his communication. If he's able to communicate more plays, I think that allows us to run more plays. And if we have a limited playbook because that's all that he could, dish out right now, then we're going to be predictable for a little bit of time. I think that's one of the reasons why we were so dominant against the Panthers. Like, we knew 90% of their plays. Like Cam Newton, as much as he was a great athlete, I think it was known league-wide that, he wasn't great at learning the entire playbook, so they had to kind of tailor it to what he was comfortable with. And because of that, you guys only do so much, so we know kind of what you guys like to do. So I think it's all about Russ and his development. I think it's going to allow Sean to open up the playbook more, and then we'll be able to run more plays.
Yeah.
So you want Russ to be unlimited?
I do, for sure. Let's do it.
Oh, man. That's fascinating that the Texans locker room was saying that after the game. Definitely a shot at Sean Payton. And then the Texans lose by 24 points today to the Jets.
Yep.
That's brutal. That's great for the Broncos, though.
That's what happens when you talk a little schmack.
Yep.
You know? That's just instant karma. If you haven't already, please crack yourself open some Breckenridge Brewery today. It's game day, so it's time to put a few of those down. You guys all know that Breck Brew, they have a beer for any occasion, and there's no better way to watch a game than by having some Breck Brew alongside you. They've been doing it for 32 years, and it all comes down for their love and passion of making really great beer. It's made with 100% renewable energy. We have so many favorites. We have the Broncos Country Pale Ale. What's on tap downstairs? Do you know what's on tap?
Everything? The beer of the month is Christmas Ale.
I'm gonna get myself one of those right after the game. I'm kind of in that I feel a little holiday cheer.
Festive mood. Yeah, and I think it's on sale at the bar for this month, and it's like 6.5–7%. So you get a discount on top of it being like a discount inside the beer itself.
I don't know if that's a good call for me then.
No.
Post game, Alexis just a little tipsy. Probably won't be good.
Yeah.
In case you want to take it easy, they also have the really awesome, it's one of my favorites actually out there, the Good Company Hard Seltzer. So be sure to check out the beer locator at breckbrew.com and find a brew near you. You hungry?
Yes, I am hungry. It goes great with a Breck Brew, a Snarf sandwich. They've been serving up hot, toasted sandwiches in Colorado since 1996. We've all been alive since then, so they've been doing something right. Their main thing is quality. Snarf buys only the best ingredients. They have their own signature bread. It's soft on the inside, crunchy on the outside. People say that their gluten-free bread is the best they've ever had. So shout out to our friends at Snarf's. If you join Snarf's Reward, you get $5 off an order of $10 or more. Check out our friends at Snarf's.
Okay, because it's the pregame show, I always try to hear from all of the voices that you guys hear from throughout the week on this show. Because it's your first appearance, that means there's no Hank.
Right.
No Hank this week. So, like I mentioned, Hank, the little Broncos whiz-kiz that he is, he did some research and found out something very interesting about someone who's going to be inducted into the Chargers Hall of Fame today. Let's hear from him.
Hey guys, I'm down here in the DMVR bar. Hope you all are having some fun up there. I've got a stat that I wanted to share with you. So, the Chargers are actually inducting Antonio Gates into their Hall of Fame today, which is kind of a crazy decision because he lost the Broncos 18 times. Only 3 players in the history of the NFL have lost to the Broncos more than Antonio Gates did in his career. So kind of an interesting choice on their part. Back to you.
How many of those came when Todd Davis was wearing a Broncos uniform?
A handful. Yeah, I think I played Antonio Gates probably maybe 6 times. Probably 6 times, so early in my career. He was a little bit older then, so it was a much easier cover than, probably early in his career. But talented tight end, man, one of the best to ever put on Chargers jersey. And he was just a big body guy. Didn't matter if you had him covered. He was that tall basketball player that just knew how to box you out just to get the ball. So very, very talented. I don't know why they would choose this day to usher him into the Ring of Honor, but
maybe because they say, well, the Broncos have never beat us in SoFi, so it's going to continue. I hope that's not the case.
No, I don't think that's the case today.
Good.
I think the Chargers are going to charge it just like they always do. Random, in case you're wondering, David Ben, Albert Lewis, and Sebastian Janikowski were the only 3 that have lost more to the Broncos than Antonio Gates.
Did Henry send that to you? Or did you just know?
I just knew.
That's incredible.
Right
because I'm
off the top of
thinking,
my head.
Hank, why'd you leave us hanging? You can't give us that stat, but then not tell us who the other 3 are.
I will say he did tweet it out at 1:15 from the DVR Broncos account. So I had that little hack. But I have to assume that people are curious. If he's lost the 4th most out of anyone ever to the Broncos, I got to know the other 3.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay. Sticking with our theme of some insider knowledge there, Hank with the Antonio Gates bomb. It's time for Area 51. Todd Davis with a little highly classified information that you hinted at.
A little nugget of information.
What's the script?
I don't have the full script, but I have an understanding for how the offense wants to attack this secondary, and we've been talking about it all week about how they've left so many guys open, and they aren't really great against the pass. Well, we don't want to make them just not great against the pass. They want to make them have to come up and tackle as well. So you'll see that throughout the game to where they want these guys to come up and have to tackle in the run game and then also have to run with Courtland Sutton, 50 yards downfield on a bomb. Hopefully it makes them more tired. Hopefully it leads to more mental errors. But we want Asante Samuel, Dean Lillard, and even Asang Bassey. We want them to have to come up and tackle with perimeter run game and then have to get back and try to cover our guys one-on-one, and they think that's going to be a favorable matchup. I do too. I don't feel like they're going to be able to, have the win to last the entire game doing both well.
I forgot about Asang Bassey. That's where he ended up.
You forgot, huh? Yeah.
Ended up with the Chargers. Is he going to be in playing time?
He's getting a little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay, interesting.
He sang was your guy when he was here
my
last.
guy.
And
I
then
know.
he
where he
leaves, and then
was.
you just
I
like forget
know,
about him.
literally.
Wow.
If you're not
Blooded.
in orange and blue, I just don't care anymore.
Dang.
Clearly. He was my guy. I am interested to see how he's going to play today, given obviously he has a little insider knowledge as well.
Yeah.
Anything else from Area 51?
No, that's all the knowledge I have for this week.
You don't want to just spell out the script for us?
No, I
Okay.
can't do that.
Okay.
I think Chargers are watching, so
Fair
I gotta
enough. Yeah, right now they're listening
be
to
conscious.
the pregame show instead
Exactly.
of pregame warm-ups.
Hey, you
for
gotta
sure.
you gotta get all the information you can. You know.
Speaking of that inside, every single time that a former player or a former coach that was on the other team is now with the Broncos, we always ask him like, do you have a little more insight on this team? And they always downplay it.
What'd Joe say this week?
It downplayed the hell out of it. Joe Lombardi was the Chargers offensive coordinator for at least the past 2 years.
Yep.
He's
Yeah.
got to know them like
does.
so in depth. And of course they downplay it. Todd, do they downplay it because it actually they don't rely on that info, or doesn't Joe Lombardi have some good insight?
He does. I mean, they downplay it because they don't want the other team to think that they're thinking about all the checks that they know or all the different language that they remember. They try to, throw people off the scent. But if you know and your offensive coordinator knows the team that you're about to play, he'll come and talk to you and say, hey, guys, watch for this. Maybe look out for this. He won't maybe tell you everything he knows, but he'll definitely give you some hints.
Yeah, Joe Lombardi knows Justin Herbert like the back of his hand. Like, why wouldn't you lean into that?
Yes. I
Doesn't make any sense.
100% would think so. Would think him and Vance talk a little more this week than they typically would.
For sure.
Interesting. Okay, let's get to Rate the Fit. Let's see how our guys came into SoFi Stadium looking to get their first win in this beautiful spot against the Chargers. Let's go ahead and start with Pat Surtain. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I feel like this is giving me like dad vibes.
Yeah.
You know? Like, are those New Balances? Like, what is he wearing? No,
I
I'm
don't know.
kidding.
This is a different fit. He wanted to do something different going to LA, I guess.
Did he do too much or too little?
I don't know. What are you guys saying? What is your
To me, I'm looking at it. I'm
Okay.
looking at it, and because I'm like, is he previewing a gold jacket? But
Yeah.
it's like I can't wear a full gold jacket because I don't have it yet because I'm still playing. So I'm gonna wear a little beige jacket. But he's going with I'm gonna lock down a good player and show that I'm worthy of that gold.
I like that. Actually. You dug deep on that one, but I appreciate that. That was incredible. I'm going with the shrug, just because it's like what the beige bomber. The pants are maybe the pants were a little bit more fitted. I feel better about that. Are they too baggy?
No. That's the style now.
Okay.
That's what these kids are wearing these days.
That's what the kids were.
As you're wearing tight pants, Todd, you
You
sure
know
you
what I'm
can say
saying?
that?
But just you got to be able to switch it up.
Yeah.
You got to switch it up every now and then.
Okay. Let's see the next one. Court.
Is that a snowman?
Is that a Jeezy Snowman T-shirt?
wow?
Sweatshirt.
Yeah. That's a Young Jeezy T-shirt.
Da-da-da-da. He's in
Young
the
Jeezy's a
spirit.
snowman, Zach. If you don't know.
Young Jeezy snowman.
Does Zach know who Young Jeezy is?
Zach, who's Young Jeezy?
I've heard of him.
Okay.
He's heard of him by Akon and Young Jeezy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ice.
you gotta go with snow for
Yeah.
For the fit.
That's what I'm doing for
Yeah,
sure.
I like it.
He looks good. How many yards does Courtland Sutton have today receiving?
I don't know. What's his over under? I think you guys are gonna have
58
over.
and a half is his over under.
Over 58.
Over?
Yeah.
I
So
like
59. He's definitely not getting to 100 because that's just not something that the Broncos
Only Marvin
receivers
Mims
do.
would.
Yep, exactly.
Only Marvin Mims would. Okay, let's see the next one.
Oh, alien?
Oh,
What
that's
is
a
on
good
that
fit.
shirt?
The baby a bee? Eyes?
I like the
It-
pants match the T-shirt. That's 'cause
Yeah.
that's a unique like
Yeah,
purple
that's nice.
to be able to find. So
It's also a gallery department jeans.
yeah,
it?
it looks
so-
good. It looks
How
good.
did you know that,
It's a solid
Yaya?
fit.
It says
Yeah,
it right there on the pants.
Yeah, here has style. Yeah, here got swag. You know what I'm saying?
Where does it say?
You guys don't see him
gallery
on camera every day, but
department?
he be having some fits
Oh,
on
okay.
too.
Dude, you have no idea how far away this TV is. I like it. Chef's
Yeah.
kiss. Oh, do
yeah.
we all do the same
Yeah,
thing?
yeah.
Look at
Yeah,
us.
the little
Look at
chef's
us.
kiss.
Okay.
Oh,
I know this
perfect.
feels nice that we have all the same ones. Let's see the next one. Yeah. Gosh.
Oh,
Justin's-
Justin.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that Gene?
That's like is that shine? You got a
It's
little shine to it.
It's a little shine. It's a little
Yeah.
chic. It's kind of that kind of style.
What is shine?
Yeah.
It's kind of what Alexis has, honestly, on her pads.
Babe, these are
like
leather.
actually
But not
shiny.
Yeah,
like,
actually
it's
shiny.
shiny.
Yeah.
It's actually shiny.
Okay,
like,
okay. I
And
like
is that a
that.
Go Yard backpack
Go Yard
and
Of course.
duffel?
It is.
Golly.
Dude is
Can't
Can't
hide
have none
money.
That's fire right there.
Yeah, I'm going fire.
Justin always looks good.
That's
Just turned
it.
32. Did you see that party that Taryn threw for him? Were you
Yeah.
there?
No, I couldn't make it.
You didn't get the invite?
No, I got the invite. Don't play me now.
Todd is
No, I
an OG,
couldn't make
man.
it. You know what I'm
Todd gets
saying?
invited to everything.
Todd big time and Justin. I love it.
No, not at all. Justin's my guy. Justin's my guy. Not at all.
Shout out to Taryn Simmons for a hell of a 30th birthday party for Justin. Okay,
Absolutely.
next one.
Oh,
Okay.
Russ, all white.
All white.
This could go either way.
Oh,
This is either. I'd like to see people in the comments on this one. Do we like all white? This is December. It's the
first of all,
holidays.
it's not like white. It's like cream. So
Creme?
like creme.
Creme?
So it's like you can either go with like it's fire or it's like corny cream. Like
I'm not one of like, what are the dates for wearing all white? I don't.
After Labor Day.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. So
I
I
thought
think
that
you
was
can wear
a rule
whatever
in,
you
like,
want
the
whenever
20s.
you want. Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you want to wear all white right
Yeah.
now, I think he looks good. That also means that he has to come out here mistake free. That's just clean,
Yeah.
crisp, white as snow. He got to play like it. Fire.
Oh,
I'm going-
I like that. I like that thought process. Yeah, I'm just going snowflake for that.
Chef's kiss.
This
Chef's
is
kiss.
snowflake. Oh,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
great. Yeah, yeah.
Is that Timmy P?
yeah, it's Timmy P with the DT.
The day after the 2-year anniversary, the
Yeah.
passing of Demaryius Thomas. What a thoughtful gesture today. Tim Patrick walking in this, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
RIP
chef's
to
kiss. I'd go for the
DT.
heart if I could.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's phenomenal.
yeah,
But
we're gonna
chef's
go
kiss, very good.
Flames.
And everything.
Man,
Flames, ice, fire.
the
I
past
love
2
it.
years for me have just gone by so fast. Like, I cannot believe it's already been 2 years since we lost DT. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh man, tough. But
Broncos need to go get a dub for him today.
big
Yeah,
dub,
I think it's
know.
important. Yeah.
I feel like they tend to play well around this anniversary. They beat the Lions. Was it the Lions that year?
Yep.
Yep, Lions at home that year.
Yep.
Last year, there was someone else that they played. You're like, don't give me the
No
schedule, please.
idea.
Yeah, don't give me the schedule list. But I'm pretty sure they won last year around this time as well. So I feel like DT is going to be at SoFi with them today. All the good vibes. Let's get kind of final thoughts on this game, you guys. The Broncos win this game if Zac.
They run for 40 times.
Yes.
It's a guarantee then that they win. But definitely, I mean, just stick with the run.
Okay.
And I think that we saw last week, you don't really want balance. So run for 35, 40 times, and the Broncos will win this game.
Okay. The Broncos win if, Todd.
I definitely agree with Zach. And then when we do pass, I think we need to find Jerry Jeudy, not only for our team's success, but just so, we're not getting any more flack online or any more crazy videos where Jerry's wide open and we don't know why he doesn't get the ball. He's 12th in the league in separation right now, and he only averages like 5 targets a game. So I think we need to bump that up to at least 7. I think he'll find some wide open gaps and really show you what he's made of. So it's important to get Jerry Jeudy involved this game.
Love that. Okay, the Chargers win this game if?
Boy, I guess Quentin Johnston comes out, the rookie, and doesn't drop all the passes that he's
Yeah.
been dropping, and he's able to torch the Broncos secondary. Because I can't say that it's going to be Keenan Allen. I just don't think that Keenan Allen's going to come out and have a 140-yard game. So I guess it's if another receiver steps up for them, which just has not happened once this year.
Right.
I think the Chargers will win if Justin Herbert doesn't have any turnovers.
Oh.
In their 5 wins, there's only 1 game where he has a turnover. The other 4, he has no turnover. So I think that's huge to their success, him being able to keep the ball in their hands and keep control over the ball. It's going to be tough to do against this defense, man. The last few weeks we've been able to get our hands on the ball, not last week. So I really feel like we'll have the energy and the thought process to go and rip the ball and take the ball. And that'll be part of our game plan. So it's important for us to get that. But if we don't, I feel like that gives the Chargers a good chance to win the game.
I feel like the Chargers win this game if they somehow figure out, for the first time all year, how to run the football.
Yeah.
Which they might with Joshua Kelly.
That's a good
So,
point.
yeah, that'll be interesting. All right, guys, be sure to join us post-game as we break this one down. This was really fun. Zac Stevens, thanks so much for being
Thanks
here.
for
guys.
having me. I
Yeah,
love it.
Of course. Todd Davis, he'll also be here post-game. Same with Zac. We'll see you guys here in just a little bit.
Whoa. all silly like the mayor.